The Mosel. The terroir for her wines emerged from the Devonian era, 400 million years ago. For more than 2,000 years, mankind has shaped this cultural landscape. Mineralic, fruity wines with unique character are produced along the rivers Mosel, Saar and Ruwer. In the heart of Europe, the Moselle River links France, Luxembourg and Germany. The wine-growing area Mosel is situated in western Germany and expands from the German-French border out to its confluence with the Rhine in the city of Koblenz. The international airports Frankfurt-Main, Frankfurt-Hahn, Köln-Bonn and Luxembourg-Findel offer connections to the largest steep-slope wine-growing area in the world. Wine in the Mosel region has a long tradition. The Celtic people appreciated it about 500 BC. However, it's not known if they cultivated the grapes. Reliable evidence for the cultivation of wine only dates back to the time when the Romans reigned. The Romans extensively cultivated wine in the Mosel. They provided the public, as well as their armies, with the nutritious wine. Due to the alcoholic fermentation, wine was sterile and could be preserved longer than water. The trading of wine resulted in a flourishing local economy. In the Moselle region, the Roman reign lasted from the 1st century BC to the 5th century AD. After the downfall of the Roman Empire, the monasteries in the region ensured continuity in the making of wine. Amongst others, they brought skills and techniques from Burgundy to the Mosel. It was the monks that preserved the viticultural knowledge and developed it further. Today, the Riesling grape dominates this area. The growing conditions are a huge challenge for the vine and the vintner. The roots of the vine need to root deep in the rocky soil to get to nutrition. The heat-conserving slate and the mild climate assist in the growing of the vines. The maturing of the grapes takes much longer than in many other wine-growing regions. The vines blossom in June, in some years even in May. The Riesling harvest starts mostly mid-October and lasts long into November. Hence, the grapes have a long time to store fruit sugar and minerals. From these aromatic grapes, winemakers produce sophisticated wines with the typical minerality, herbal spice, and delicate fragrances that are the mark of Moselle wines. The last Prince-Elector and Archbishop of Trier, Clemens Wenceslaus, helped the Riesling grape to lasting success on the Mosel by ordering the cultivation of Riesling grapes for quality reasons. To this date, Riesling shapes the cultural landscape along Mosel, Saar and Ruwer. More than 60% of all wine-growing areas within the Mosel are planted with Riesling, the queen of white wines. Other significant white varieties are Müller-Thurgau, Elbling, as well as Pinot Blanc and Pinot Gris. The predominant red varieties are Pinot Noir and Dornfelder. The wine-growing region can be split into 5 sub-regions. The Upper Mosel stretches from the three-country triangle near Schengen to the mouth of the Saar, just before Trier. The valley here is wider, the vineyards less steep. Formations from limestone and dolomite, like in the village of Nittel, shape the landscape. The soils are nutrition-rich and are similar to the Paris Basin or the Champagne region. More than 60% of the area in the Upper Mosel grows the old grape variety Elbling. A mutation of this white variety is also found as Red Elbling. The Middle Mosel is located between the city of Trier and the wine village of Briedel. This area is the heart of the Moselle wine-growing region. Characteristic Mosel loops form this landscape. Here, more than half of all vines of the Mosel region are cultivated, mostly on weathered slate and on steep slopes. The narrow valley, together with the heat-saving factors from river and stone, favor the cultivation along the Middle Mosel. The section from the village of Celts to the city of Koblenz is known as the Terrace Mosel, the terraced Mosel. The vineyards here are so steep that they can only be grown in small terraces. Due to the narrow valley and the low height above sea level, the average temperatures are higher in the terraced Mosel. This microclimate offers the grapes ideal growing conditions. The Saar wine growing area reaches from the village of Zerich to its river mouth near the town of Konz. The Saar wine growing area is rather small in size, but with a reputation for bringing forward steep slope wines of world-class rank. Vines are also found on southern slopes of the side valleys. The higher position of this area offers the vines a rather long growing period. As before, the soils are dominated by slate. Between the village of Sommerau and the urban district of Trier-Ruwer lies the smallest part of this wine-growing region. More than 90% of the vines along the river Ruwer are Riesling vines. Like in the Saar region, the Ruwer vineyards lie slightly higher than along the Mosel. The lower average temperatures benefit the grapes in terms of a longer growing period and lends the wine a delicate character. The Mosel has always been known for its excellent vineyard sites. However, the transport crossing the regional borders was quite strenuous. First the steamships, then the construction of the Mosel Railway were important infrastructure measures to transport wine and people faster and in more comfort. In the 19th century, it was the Prussians particularly who furthered the cultivation and marketing of Mosel wine. They increased the quality via state-run domains and winemaking colleges. Vineyard sites were recorded on a map. This map classified vineyards into 3 categories. Originally developed for taxation purposes, the map later became an essential marketing tool for Moselle wine. The Prussians also introduced tax for sparkling wine, Sekt. This tax helped the development of the Imperial Navy. The Navy in the Kingdom of Prussia do not exist any longer. The tax still does. Big wine auctions were a further innovative marketing measure. They got the world's attention and secured international wine sales. Steep slope Riesling wines fetched premium prices, and some were even more expensive than French Bordeaux wines. The harvest in autumn is the peak of every wine year. Along the Mosel, Saar and Ruwer, grape picking may start as early as September, depending on the grape variety, and lasts long into November. Riesling, as a late maturing variety, benefits from the heat-saving properties of slate and the rather mild climate for a wine region situated so far north. The vintner takes a conscious decision when to bring the grapes in and how to then vinify them in the cellar. The freshly picked grapes are pressed. The juice or must is filtered and will be stored either in stainless steel tanks or wooden barrels. During fermentation, yeasts convert fruit sugars into alcohol. The vintner determines the future character of the wine through careful and tight control of this process. In today's globalized world, demand is increasing for the high qualities of traditional and regional produce. People have actively shaped the unique nature of the cultural landscape along the Mosel, Saar and Ruwer rivers. This is how new habitats were developed for plants and animals. Today, it's more important than ever to be mindful in the handling of these precious resources. More than 2,000 years ago, man started creating this unique landscape. Over the centuries, the skill of winemaking was preserved and developed. The continuous improvement in the quality of wines was equally important as the marketing of this natural product the world over. The whole region benefited from the global reputation of steep-slope Riesling wines, a quality that's still the motivation for the next generation.